Like a great man once said, there's nothing new about a new year. The only thing that has the ability to change is you. Hi guys, welcome to another episode of the Emmy Toronto podcast. Today we're going to be talking about a topic that everyone is familiar with, procrastination. So you remember the previous video, we spoke about getting things done, like starting basically. So in this video, we're going to be talking about procrastination. So you had grand plans for this year. 2025 started, you were like, I'm getting that dream body, I'm switching jobs, I'm learning something new, I'm picking up a musical instrument. You decided that you are going to do something new with your life. So now if you are trying to make those changes and you find yourself like January is already gone, this is February or whatever month you are watching in, and you're like, oh my, I have such grand plans for this year, new year, new me, but where is everything? Where did everything go? I'm about to tell you what happened to you. It's called procrastination. Now, what fuels procrastination? Instant gratification. I'm going to give a brief summary of a TED Talk I watched sometime in the past. It's a TED Talk by Tim Urban. And basically, he explained the mind of a procrastinator. So if you're a procrastinator, you'll probably be familiar with some of these concepts. And to be honest, everyone is a procrastinator to some extent. So Tim Urban mentioned that in the brain of a procrastinator, there's this thing called a rational thinker, an instant gratification monkey, and a panic monster. And I'll explain all three. So the rational decision maker is the person in there that is just trying to get things done. So basically, that's you knowing, oh, I have a deadline for the 15th of February. I need to get ABC done. I need to come up with a plan to execute that, and then you go ahead to make those plans. Now, what then happens is that if you're a procrastinator or someone that suffers from procrastination, you then have the instant gratification monkey coming in there. And what does the instant gratification monkey want? Well, basically, he wants you to check Wikipedia. He wants you to go on YouTube and find out that lemons were a mixture of citron and bitter oranges. Basically, random facts that you most likely will never use again in your life. But you are there by 2 a.m. and you have a paper due in 2 weeks, but you are there by 2 a.m. reading up on insomnia and different things. So the instant gratification monkey, let me give an instance. You want to get your dream body. You're like, this is the year I'm going to have that summer body. You started the year going to the gym. You know you're meant to be dieting. You have your protein shakes. You know you're meant to be eating tons of chicken and everything. But then you'd feel that need, that instant gratification need. Oh, I want ice cream. Like you have a sweet tooth. And you know you have a long-term goal, but short-term, you want something sweet and delicious, right? So you go for that, forgoing your long-term goals, because you do that once and then you do it the next day, and you do it the next day. If you keep on taking ice cream, whatever weight you are lifting at the gym, you are not going to see that dream body because you will build muscles, but we're hidden under fat. Anyway, that's just an example of what the instant gratification monkey does. Now I'm going to talk about the panic monster. So the panic monster kicks in when a deadline approaches. So have you ever found yourself in a situation where you have an assignment handed to you in December and you know it's due in April? So you're like, oh, 4 months for this, I'm going to get it done. I'm acing this with an A. And then month 1 comes, that's January, and nothing's done because, you have to play FIFA with the boys now. Play FIFA normal. Month 2 comes, you're like, okay, I still have 2 months. I'll do something. You do a bit of research. You're like, I'll continue later. I can finish this. Month 3 comes. You're like, oh, wow. Okay, this is getting bad. You're starting to panic a bit, but you're like, I still have some time. You guys are going out. You go out with them. You're still doing your thing and everything. Month 4 comes, and then you don't know. It turns to 2 weeks, and then somehow you just get that ginger, that energy. Out of nowhere, you're just like, 2 weeks, me like this, I'll fill this paper. No, cannot be me. So you sit up and then you just get to work, and somehow by some miracle you pull a few all-nighters and you get it done, and you manage to scrape through with a C or a B, even a D sometimes, but you manage to scrape through. So to some extent you feel like it worked, but you know you can do better, because if I give more time to this, I'll probably have aced it with an A, but because I procrastinated as usual, student's life and everything, I ended up with a C. Now, here's the kicker. In that situation, you had a deadline which forced you to get into action. So the panic monster came out, you panicked, and the fear of embarrassment and the fear of letting yourself down, letting other people down, came up and you were like, nope, I'm not having this. But there's a separate type of procrastination that comes when you have no deadline. So for instance, okay, at your job, you have a deadline for most of your tasks. But in your personal life, personal development, you want to learn to play a musical instrument. You want to read your Bible more often. You want to learn how to swim. You want to just do something new. But there's no deadline. There's no one pursuing. There's no one holding you accountable. And you're thinking to yourself, I have these grand dreams. I want to start this business. You have lofty ideas. But all those dreams are just parked to the side. There's no deadline to them. Or at least you think there's none. But there is actually. You think there's none. And basically, you sacrifice those dreams on the idea of I'll get them done later. So now here's the thing you have to keep in mind. You don't have all the time you think you do. Anyway, let me not get grim, but basically the average lifespan of a human being, and that's globally, is about 73 years, which comes up to about 3,800 days approximately, or slightly more. But with all of that in mind, you've already spent a good chunk of those days, because maybe you're 20 or you're 30 or you're 40. I mean, yeah, time is already going. 40 to 73 is like we've got only 33 more years to go. So you've probably lived most of your life already. So as you can see, there's no much time. So that's the deadline in and of itself. But another thing I would like you to introduce, because people might look at that and be like, oh yeah, I mean, tomorrow is promised, I'll get things done. It's not promised, but let me give you an idea of how you can get things done. You have to establish a structure to hold yourself accountable for whatever you need to do. So for instance, you want to record an episode. If you leave it up to yourself, you may never record the episode. But if you set a date, get someone to come help you with the recording or sound check and all of that. If the person shows up and you're not ready, you'll be embarrassed. So basically, you've created a deadline situation for yourself. You can do that for anything. If you create a deadline situation for yourself, you basically force yourself into that state of panic, which is not ideal, but if you get the flow of what I'm saying, if you're someone that suffers from procrastination, setting deadlines for yourself that could lead to potential embarrassment is a good idea. So for instance, let's use someone that wants to learn how to play the guitar. You bought a guitar a year ago and you've been telling yourself, I'll learn how to play a Christmas song, or even anything you want to learn how to play. So what you can do in this situation is you tell your friends, April 15th or 16th or blah 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 date, I'm going to host an event at my house and I'm going to play some songs. And you invite your friends. Okay, maybe you don't want to impress your friends. You invite a mentor or two, or someone that you hold dear that you won't want to disappoint or let yourself down in front of. And you set that date. You realize that the closer you get to that date, the more the pressure will mount on you to practice. So you create that deadline situation, which you would get at work or at school in a normal situation. But because this is your personal life, you create that deadline. Anyway, I think you get the gist of it at this point. If you've reached this part of the video, I just want to say a big thank you. Please hit the notification bell, subscribe to the channel, follow us on Instagram, any of the social media platforms you're currently watching this on. Share the video with your friends, especially those ones that you know that they've told you they will do something. This is their reminder to do it. Send them this video. Thank you so much for watching and see you next time. Goodbye.